Goodwill Industries was founded in 1902 by Reverend Edgar Helms, a Methodist minister whose first assignment to preach was in the slums of South Boston. Surrounded by crime, vice, and immigrants seeking the opportunities of a new country, Helms found that people could not hear his gospel message over their overwhelming needs for food, shelter, and work. So, in order to provide a means for people to earn money, learn meaningful job skills, and gain self-respect, Helms walked door to door in the affluent neighborhoods of Boston, seeking donations of clothing and other household items that people did not need. With the goods he received, Helms took them back to his church and had the people mend, repair, and sell the donated items. The proceeds paid workers' wages, allowed individuals to learn job skills, and the beginning of a worldwide movement was born. Today, Goodwill Industries of the Columbia is one of 165 independent Goodwill organizations across North America. Since 1961, Goodwill Industries of the Columbia has provided education, training, and employment services, all geared to help individuals overcome disabilities and other social disadvantages and to obtain independence and self-sufficiency through the power of work.
The mission of Goodwill Industries of the Columbia is changing lives through the power of work. We have 8 retail stores and plus an e-commerce store. We also have numerous donation centers around our territory. Most people know Goodwill Industries for the retail program, and it's definitely the engine that makes our organization run. While the retail program is what we are most known for, we have other programs that are funded by the retail program that are vitally important to our community. Our Skills Training and Employment Preparation Program, which we refer to as STEP, is a program for people with disabilities to be trained for employment out in the community.
The program's intention is for individuals with significant developmental disabilities that need job training and experience. Typically, individuals in our program experience significant impacts to their physical and cognitive functioning, and most of them have never had a job before. Goodwill has 2 types of preparatory or training programs. One are in our retail facilities, and so the individuals in those programs are learning the basic components of the retail and production settings. They do a lot of production of product for our store. And then we also have a couple of janitorial groups that work out in the community with a Goodwill supervisor, and they can work a little more independently because they're in another person's place of business. So for those individuals, they're a little bit further along on their pathway, but we have that flexibility to, put them in different scenarios, to try out the skills that have worked in one setting and try to apply them in a new setting so that we know that what is going to work for them when they get to that real job in the community. So somebody like Mackenzie, she actually started her programming with Goodwill when she was still in high school. And she started on the very basics, how to stay on task, how to follow somebody else's schedule, how to do work on her own, self-monitoring quality. And after she graduated from high school, she continued with us. So she has really grown to the point where she can work more independently. Staff don't need to be by her side, when at the beginning that really was the case.
I working so well. I had the pants and shirt.
For Mackenzie and her family, it's really important for her to be here for the social aspects as well as for her to gain a sense of independence and productivity, and that is the goal for her.
My name is Nancy, and I'm Mackenzie's mom. If Mackenzie was not working at Goodwill, she would be home with me or a caregiver. Mackenzie would really be missing out if she didn't have the opportunity to work. There was a time when Mackenzie would not. We could not be in the same room together. We had to do everything together, and she just has so much more self-confidence. She just is so much more self-assured that she just takes on other tasks and does them, and it's great. And she just loves it. She feels so important when she comes to work, and she feels so important to come home and tell us every single thing that happened during the day. And she just loves all of you guys and the supervisors, and she's made huge strides, huge. So it's very exciting, very, very exciting.
I think Goodwill is an excellent employer. We help people, we train people, but that's not the only thing that we do for the community. We also have community employers, so people that have companies or run businesses that we help find employees, and we also sometimes just help them find the heart of their company as well.
The commitment working with people with disabilities is a lot easier with Goodwill. They are supportive in that process. Once, even through when we're just doing job shadowing, they're supportive here. There's great follow-up, there's great commitment to their role to be a support for them. With Alex, there's continual contact with him, that he's continually successful in his role, that we identify opportunities for him to grow, develop, to change, and also to give him a chance to applaud good work. Their follow-through is there. They are creative in helping us do training. It's not always, the burden isn't always on us as an employer to do the training. They're here to help us be creative in that, because it's a level of expertise they have working with those people with those challenges.
My job at Yokes is I work in a deli. I clean up the dishes, put away the properly way they are. I also help out my coworkers put away the garbage and the cardboard. I help them do the garbage and put the cardboard in the compactor.
With Alex, they came back in, did some job shadowing with him, even after employment, to look at some different things. If we change the structure of their job, they're here to help them transition into that job structure to have continued success.
While our mission is to help people find employment to the highest level of their abilities, it's not just about that. It's helping them find enjoyment, find fulfillment in their lives. Our organization is about helping people fit and being comfortable and safe where they're employed. And I think we do that.
For the employers that we work with, for individuals who have graduated from our program that are working successfully, it's really valuable to those employers that we're working with, because we provide the staffing support to fill in some of those gaps when it comes to training or helping those new employees that have a disability, reach the level of expectation that that employer has.
We're committed to community, and so we wanted to give back to the community. And so to do that, we knew that Goodwill had people out there that are looking to be trained so they can step up in the world. So we got on board with Goodwill and started working with your people. Mike, he does our general housekeeping throughout the club for us. He's been with us for 2 or 3 years.
My job at CBRC is I gather all the towels in the club. I wash and fold, and I do maintenance work, and I clean and dust and do windows. When I was part of the training program at CBRC, they saw me being a good worker and just wanted to hire me. Goodwill just helped me be on time and be respectful towards others.
For Alex and Mike, they used to be in our STEP program, and we worked on really basic skills like self-monitoring the work quality is a big one. Just getting them used to the expectations of a job. And I always think about, how was I in my first or second jobs? I wasn't a very great employee. You have to learn a lot of those skills, and that's what our programs are providing. So for Mike and Alex, they mastered those real basics, and they were ready to go off and be workers out in the regular workforce. And that is the goal for everybody in our STEP program. It doesn't matter how significant their disability or where they are at today. The goal is community-based employment.
We couldn't do what we do without our community employers. I'm very grateful for them.
At Goodwill of the Columbia, we believe that work is a valued activity that enables a person to participate fully in their life. But unfortunately, people with significant disabilities have limited job opportunities. And that could be even more limited if it weren't for a special provision in the Fair Labor and Standards Act. This allows employers to pay below minimum wage to employees that have a disability when it significantly affects that person's ability to do their job. Employers are able to do this through a special minimum wage certificate that is obtained through the U.S. Department of Labor.
Individuals in our STEP program, several of them do earn a sub-minimum wage. Some of them do earn minimum wage based on their individual productivity. And because it's a training program and preparatory, they have to qualify to be paid less than minimum wage based on the nature of their disability and how that impacts their productivity. So just because somebody is disabled does not automatically make it that we can pay them less than minimum wage. And there's a progression. We have goals for each of them on progression in their wages, and as a communication and a strategy, a relationship we build with them and their support teams and their families to understand how that works, why it's in place.
As the executive director of Goodwill Industries, I have a certain feeling regarding subminimum wage. I think it's something that's important. It's a great tool that we have to provide an environment where people with disabilities feel safe. And I've talked to numerous parents that feel this not only the same way, but even more so. We're talking about the family relationship where it's imperative that they have a place to go, that they can grow and develop. And that's what the subminimum wage is for. It's for training.
Mackenzie is making about $2.96 an hour. For me, it doesn't really matter what Mackenzie's wage is. She is fortunate enough to be able to live with us, and we can help support her. What matters more is that I know with confidence that Mackenzie is in a safe work environment, and she is being supervised by people who have specialized training in the STEP program, and more importantly, people who care and want to help my daughter succeed.
The individuals in our program that are earning subminimum wage, they and their families understand and are very supportive of that program. They understand the productivity goals and how that works. There are issues with subminimum wage and its use and implementation, and it is a very structured piece of the Department of Labor. There's lots of moving parts, a lot of rules and regulations that we work hard to be in accordance with in order to implement that program.
While Goodwill Industries of the Columbia is definitely a supplier of 14C subminimum wage jobs here in our community, we're not the only ones. And I think it's important to understand that we serve around 140 people with disabilities in this using the 14C subminimum wage certificate. There are so many people that would be affected if this went away. Not only the people that are being trained, but the families themselves. In addition to the guidance and the training and the employment preparation that folks with disabilities receive here at Goodwill, that's not all of it. The bigger part of it for me is the fulfillment that they have in their lives for being part of something. Everyone at Goodwill fits. It's who we are as an organization.